Here is something almost nobody tells you when you turn 60. The tiredness you feel is not proof that your body is wearing out. It is not the price you pay for getting older. And it is not something you simply have to live with for the rest of your life. I know that is the opposite of what you have been told. You walk into a doctor's office, you say you feel tired all the time, and you get a tired answer back. They tell you it is just your age. They tell you to slow down. They tell you to expect this now. And you walk out feeling like the door just closed on you. That answer is wrong. Not a little wrong, completely wrong. Researchers who study aging have found something that should change how you think about every tired morning you have had in the last few years. Constant fatigue is not a normal part of growing older. It is a signal. It is your body trying to tell you that something specific is happening inside you. And almost every one of those specific things can be measured, named, and changed. That is the whole point of this video. By the time we are done, you are going to understand the real reasons your energy drops after 60. Not the lazy answer, the true ones. I am going to walk you through what is actually happening inside your cells, inside your muscles, inside your blood, and inside your sleep. And I am going to give you simple steps you can start today, including the exact foods and the one morning habit that doctors who work with older patients keep coming back to. So stay with me, because there is one reason on this list that catches almost everyone by surprise. Most people who feel tired think they need more rest. The truth is the opposite, and I will show you why later. There is also a single nutrient that nearly half of older adults run low on without knowing it, and being low on it feels exactly like exhaustion. We will get to that too. Let me say the main idea one more time, because it matters more than anything else I will tell you. Your tiredness has a cause. The cause is not your birthday, and once you know the cause, you have power over it. Now let me show you what is really going on. The first reason is happening right now, quietly, inside your arms and your legs. You are losing muscle. Doctors have a name for it. They call it sarcopenia, which simply means the slow loss of muscle as we age. It starts earlier than most people think, somewhere around 30. But after 60, it speeds up. You can lose a real amount of muscle every single year without noticing, because it does not happen all at once. It happens a little at a time, so quietly that you blame the stairs or the chair or the weather. Here is why this drains your energy. Your muscle is not just for lifting things. Your muscle is an engine. It burns fuel. It holds your blood sugar steady. It keeps your whole body running smoothly. When you lose muscle, you lose engine. So every task costs you more. Carrying the groceries costs more. Getting up from the couch costs more. Walking to the mailbox costs more. You are doing the same things you always did, but now each one takes a bigger bite out of your tank. By the afternoon, the tank is empty. That is not weakness of character. That is simple math. Smaller engine, faster empty. And here is the part that traps people. When you feel that drain, your instinct is to move less. You sit more to save energy. But sitting more makes you lose muscle faster. So you have less engine, so you tire even sooner, so you sit even more. It is a downward spiral, and most people never see it happening. We are going to break that spiral later in this video, and the fix is gentler than you think. Hold that thought. The second reason sits right on your dinner plate, and it is one of the most common mistakes I see in older adults. You are not eating enough protein, and here is the twist that almost nobody knows. As you get older, you actually need more protein than you did when you were young, not less. Let me explain why, because the reason is fascinating. When you are young and you eat protein, your body grabs it easily and builds it into muscle. But after 60, your body becomes a little deaf to that signal. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. It means your muscles do not respond to protein as strongly as they used to. So to get the same building effect, you have to send a louder signal, a bigger amount of protein at each meal. If you eat the way you ate at 40, you are quietly starving your muscles. And starved muscle means a weaker engine. And a weaker engine means the tiredness we just talked about. Most older adults eat their smallest amount of protein at breakfast, a little more at lunch, and then most of it at dinner. That is backwards. Your body can only use so much at once, so loading it all at night wastes a lot of it. The fix is to spread protein across the day, with a real serving at every meal. I will give you the exact foods and amounts near the end, so keep watching, because this one change alone has pulled people out of a fog they thought was permanent. The third reason is so simple that people roll their eyes when they hear it. You are probably a little dehydrated and you do not feel thirsty. This is not a guess. As you age, the thirst signal in your brain gets weaker. Your body needs water just as much as ever, but the alarm that tells you to drink gets quieter. On top of that, your kidneys hold water less efficiently than they used to. So you can be running low on fluid while feeling completely normal, no dry mouth, no warning. And here is what mild dehydration feels like. It feels like tiredness. It feels like a heavy head. It feels like your thinking is slow and your body is dragging. Many people spend their whole afternoon feeling exhausted when the real problem is that they have had 2 cups of coffee and almost no water since they woke up. Coffee can even push more fluid out of you. So you sip something that should wake you up, and you end up more drained than before. The fix here is almost embarrassingly easy, and I will give you a simple way to never forget it. Now we get to the fourth reason, and this one goes deep, all the way down into the smallest parts of you. Inside nearly every cell in your body, there are tiny structures called mitochondria. Think of them as little power plants. Their whole job is to take the food you eat and the air you breathe and turn it into usable energy. Every step you take, every thought you think, every beat of your heart is powered by these little plants. Here is the problem. As you age, you have fewer of these power plants, and the ones you have left run a little slower. The plants get older right along with you. Scientists have studied this closely. They have found that the cells of older adults often make less energy than the cells of younger ones, even when everything else looks healthy. So you can eat fine and sleep fine and still feel low, because the factories that turn fuel into energy are simply not running at full speed. There is also a helper molecule inside these power plants. Your cells use it to make energy, and the amount you carry tends to fall as you get older. When that helper runs low, the whole energy line slows down. This is one of the quiet engines behind that flat, foggy, "Why am I so tired?" feeling that comes out of nowhere. Now I want you to hear the hopeful part, because this is where most videos leave you scared and stuck, and I am not going to do that. These power plants are not fixed. They respond to what you do. Certain kinds of movement actually push your body to build more of them and make the old ones work better. Certain nutrients feed them. We are going to cover both. Your cells are listening, and they can be told to make more energy. That is not a dream. That is biology you can use. So let me pull these 4 together because they connect. You lose muscle, so your engine shrinks. You eat too little protein, so the engine cannot rebuild. You stay a little dehydrated, so everything runs thick and slow. And your cellular power plants age and slow down, so even good fuel makes less energy. 4 causes, all real, all measurable, and not one of them is simply your age. Every single one can be pushed in the other direction. And we are only halfway through the list. In the next part, I am going to tell you about the one vitamin that nearly half of older adults run low on, the one that feels exactly like exhaustion when it drops. I am going to show you how your blood sugar can swing up and crash down all day, and leave you wiped out by 3 in the afternoon. I am going to tell you why the very pills you take to stay healthy might be quietly stealing your energy, and what to ask your doctor about without ever stopping anything on your own. And I am going to explain why resting more is the trap that keeps you tired, and the surprising fix that wakes the whole system back up. Then I will give you the exact steps, the foods, the amounts, the drink, and the simple morning routine you can start tomorrow. Stay with me because the most useful part is still coming. Now let me tell you about the nutrient I promised, because this one surprises almost everyone. It is vitamin B12, and nearly half of older adults are running low on it without having any idea. And here is the cruel part. When your B12 drops, the feeling it creates is exactly the feeling of being worn out. Heavy legs, a tired brain, a sense that you are pushing through mud all day. People live with this for years and never once think to check it. Here is why it happens to so many people after 60, and the reason is not what you would guess. It is usually not that you are eating too little of it. It is that your stomach has changed. To pull B12 out of your food, your stomach needs to make strong acid and a special helper protein. As you age, your stomach often makes less of both. So the B12 is right there on your plate, but your body cannot unlock it. And if you take a common heartburn pill or a diabetes medicine, those can lower your B12 even more. The food goes in, but the fuel never makes it to your blood. Why does that make you so tired? Because B12 is part of how your body builds healthy red blood cells, and red blood cells are the trucks that carry oxygen to every part of you. Low B12 means weak, oversized red cells that cannot carry a full load of oxygen. So your muscles get less oxygen, your brain gets less oxygen, and less oxygen feels exactly like exhaustion, because that is what it is. Your whole body is quietly running short of breath at the cellular level, even while you are sitting still. The good news is that this is one of the easiest things in the world to check. It is a simple blood test. Ask for it. And if you are low, fixing it can feel like someone turned the lights back on. I have heard people describe it as getting 10 years back. We will come to exactly what to do at the end. While we are on vitamins, there is a second one that matters just as much, and that is vitamin D. Most older adults are low here too, and the reason is built right into aging. Your skin makes vitamin D from sunlight, but older skin makes far less of it from the same amount of sun. Add in spending more time indoors and the level drops. And low vitamin D does not just weaken your bones. It drags down your muscles and your mood, and it leaves you feeling flat and tired in a way that is hard to put your finger on. Another simple blood test. Another easy fix. Keep that in mind for the end. Now let me show you the fifth big reason, and this one is happening on a clock you can almost set your watch to. It is your blood sugar, swinging up and crashing down all day long. You feel it most in the early afternoon, around 2 or 3 o'clock, when the wall hits and you could lie down right where you are standing. Here is the mechanism, and once you see it, you will never unsee it. When you eat a meal that is mostly bread, rice, cereal, sugar, or potatoes, your blood sugar shoots up fast. Your body panics a little and releases a flood of insulin to bring it down. But after 60, that whole system works less smoothly. The insulin often overshoots, and your blood sugar does not just come back to normal, it crashes below normal. And a blood sugar crash feels like a wave of exhaustion, fog, and even shakiness. So you reach for a cookie or another cup of coffee to climb back out of the hole, and that just starts the whole roller coaster over again. Up and crash all day until you are wrung out by evening. The fix is not to never eat those foods. The fix is to change the order and the company they keep, so the spike never happens. I will give you that exact trick at the end, and it is so simple you will wonder why no one told you. The sixth reason is one that people almost never connect to their tiredness, and it might be the most important one to bring to your doctor. It is your medications. Not because they are bad, they may be keeping you healthy. But many common ones carry fatigue as a quiet side effect. And when you take several at once, those small effects can stack into a heavy fog. Think about the usual list. Some blood pressure pills slow you down on purpose. Many allergy pills and sleep aids leave you groggy long into the next day. Certain medicines for mood, for pain, for the bladder, for the stomach, all can pull energy out of you. And here is the stacking problem. You might take one for your heart, one for your stomach, one to sleep, and one for an ache, and each one alone seems harmless, but together they sit on your energy like a weight. Now hear me very clearly because this matters. Do not stop any medication on your own. Do not change a dose on your own. That can be dangerous. What you do instead is bring your full list, every pill and every supplement, to your doctor or your pharmacist, and you ask one simple question. Could any of these be making me tired? And is there a different option or a better time of day to take them? Sometimes just moving a pill to bedtime instead of morning changes everything. That is a conversation, not a decision you make alone, but it is a conversation that can give you your afternoons back. The seventh reason is about your nights, and it is more than just how many hours you sleep. It is the quality of that sleep, the deep stage where your body does its real repair. As you age, you naturally spend less time in that deepest, most restoring stage of sleep. So you can be in bed for 8 hours and still wake up feeling like you barely slept, because the rich, deep part of the night got thinner. Several things steal that deep sleep after 60. You wake more often to use the bathroom. Aches pull you up to the surface. And there is a hidden one that millions of older adults have without knowing it, where the breathing pauses again and again through the night. Each pause yanks you out of deep sleep for just a second, not long enough to remember, but enough to wreck your rest. You think you slept all night. Your brain never got to rest at all. If you snore heavily, or wake up gasping, or feel exhausted no matter how long you stay in bed, that is worth telling your doctor, because it is very treatable, and treating it can transform how you feel. Now I want to come back to the promise I made at the very start, the one that catches everyone off guard. I told you that most tired people think they need more rest, and that the truth is the opposite. Here is what I meant. When you feel tired, you naturally do less. You skip the walk, you take the elevator, you stay in the chair a little longer. It feels like the kind thing to do for your tired body. But your body reads that stillness as a message. It thinks you no longer need much strength or stamina, so it lets both fade away to save resources. Doctors call this deconditioning. Your heart gets less efficient, your muscles shrink further, your stamina drops. So the next time you move, it feels even harder. So you rest even more and the floor keeps sinking beneath you. This is the trap. Rest, which feels like the cure, is quietly the cause. The only thing that breaks the spiral is the very thing that feels hardest, which is gentle, regular movement. Not punishing exercise. Not a gym that leaves you sore. Just steady, daily motion that tells your body you still need your strength, so it stops letting it slip away. Your body is always listening to what you do, and movement is how you tell it to keep the lights on. So let me say the heart of this whole video one more time, because it ties every reason together. Your tiredness is not your age. It is a set of real specific causes: shrinking muscle, too little protein, quiet dehydration, aging power plants in your cells, low B12 and low vitamin D blood sugar that swings and crashes, medications that stack, thin, broken sleep, and the rest trap that makes all of it worse. Every one of those has a name, and every one of those can be turned around. And before I give you the steps, I owe you one honest warning, because I respect you too much to skip it. Most tiredness comes from the everyday causes we just covered. But sometimes deep, sudden, or unusual fatigue is the body waving a flag about something bigger, like a thyroid that has slowed down, like anemia, like a heart or kidney issue, or other conditions that need real care. So here is the rule. If your tiredness came on fast, if it is crushing, if it comes with chest pain, shortness of breath, unexplained weight loss, swelling, or it simply will not lift no matter what you try, do not just push through. See your doctor and ask for a simple panel of blood tests. The good news is that almost all of these are findable and fixable once someone actually looks. The danger is only in staying silent. Now the part you have been waiting for. Here is exactly what to do starting tomorrow morning. Start with protein at breakfast, because that is the meal where almost everyone falls short. Aim for a real serving, something close to the size of your palm. 2 or 3 eggs. A bowl of Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. A scoop of protein powder in your oatmeal. Get strong protein into that first meal, and you steady your energy and your blood sugar for hours. Then do the same at lunch and dinner. A palm of protein at every meal, spread across the day, not all stacked at night. Think chicken, fish, eggs, beans, lentils, Greek yogurt, cheese, tofu, or a simple shake. Spreading it out is how you finally get past that anabolic resistance and feed your engine the way it now needs. Next, fix your blood sugar with one easy habit, and this is the trick I promised. Eat your food in the right order. Start the meal with your vegetables and your protein, and save the bread, rice, or potato for last. When protein and fiber go in first, they slow everything down, so the sugar trickles in instead of flooding. The spike shrinks, the crash never comes, and that 3 o'clock wall simply stops appearing. Same food, different order, completely different afternoon. Now hydration, and here is how you never forget it. Drink a full glass of water the moment you wake up, before your coffee, because you spent all night without a drop. Then keep a bottle or a glass where you will see it, on the counter by your chair, and sip through the day without waiting to feel thirsty, because remember, that thirst signal is broken now. A glass when you wake, a glass with each meal, and sips in between. Most people feel a lift within days from this alone. For the vitamins, do not guess, test. At your next visit, ask for your B12 level and your vitamin D level, 2 simple blood tests. If you are low on B12, your doctor can fix it fast, sometimes with a strong pill, sometimes with a shot. If you were never just getting old, your body was asking for something specific, and now you finally know how to answer it. Start small, start tomorrow, and give it 2 weeks. You may be amazed at how much of the life you thought you had lost was simply waiting for you to come and get it.